জানি
was when at the end of the shoot he said, I'm really proud of you from the first day to now.
আর শোভনা করেছে ওটা
Yeah, really.
মানে
What
ওটা
a
আগে শোভনা
dancer.
করেছে what a dance
What a dancer and what a performance. That was the other worry. I said, okay, you've not told me what to do. He said, just come there. What I do was this song Ami Je Tumar. I'd actually in the
ওটা কে
house.
লিখলো এটা কি করে সব জানলো যে প্রীতমা তুই
I didn't write it, but
না আমি যে তোমার গাইতে হবে হঠাৎ বিদ্যা এখানে বাংলা ঢুকেছে ওর মাল্টি এথনিসিটি প্র্যাকটিস হচ্ছে
no, all the galis. I knew.
Okay.
I knew. So in the climax scene, I actually knew. I of course called Dada,
Achha.
and I said, "Am I pronouncing it right?" Because it's you don't say bodmash, you say bodmaish, no?
বদমাইশ
So small things. So I knew there was some tweak. So I'd called Dada, but overall, I had because it was Bengali. I was in my comfort zone. You know, he told me. He said, "Just remember one thing. You're a beast. I want to see a certain bestiality in you." I said, "Okay." He said, "I want your neck to be craned out like that,
ওকে
and just imagine that you're going to kill the person who's in front of you." So I said, "Okay." And suddenly he said, "Okay, now there are these 4 guys who are going to catch hold of you and you're going to resist it." You know, I said, "Fine." They were setting up the shot. I went into the castle where we were shooting in. I played the song on the iPod. I was in costume and everything, and I just kept listening to the song. For 3-4 days, I didn't talk to anyone because I needed to conserve my energies. When the camera came on, I didn't know what had taken over me. I was possessed.
possessed ও সত্যি মানে
Yeah,
like
I was struggling so much. Those guys had difficulty just holding me down.
Okay,
4
okay.
strong guys.
okay okay
And by the end of the day, I'd be like, you know, I wouldn't be able to go on anymore. But it was one of the most satisfying experiences as an actor. I was aware that, you know, in the original Malayalam version, it was Shobhana's film.
okay
In the Tamil, it was Rajnikant's film.
okay
It wasn't Jyotika's film.
okay okay
And in the Hindi, I knew that, you know, pretty much that could happen because
কিন্তু এটা
it
হয়নি
was.
এটা কিন্তু হয়নি it is not Akshay's film
It's not Akshay's film, but you know, I think a lot of people tell me this, that you probably didn't get your due.
সেটা আমার মনে হয়েছে
Yeah, which is, I think you also mentioned it to me once, and a lot of people told me. But I never regret, for example, a guru. I went through.
আমার গুরুর জন্য
rigorous-
মনে হয়নি কিন্তু গুরু I don't know the kind of effort that has gone into
No,
it
but that's what I'm telling you. For 3 months before Guru, I didn't do any other film. Anyway, I
মনে
work
আছে
on one
তোমার।
film at a time.
হ্যাঁ।
But I was practicing the wheelchair regularly. Mani sir told me, he said, I want you to meet patients to realize what the pain is. For that one scene where I break down with Madhavan on the wharf, and I say that, you know, Hamsa jab nahi dekhti to pistar gila ho jata hai. The pain of a person who's saying that to someone who's proposing marriage to her. You know that I'm not what you think I am. I think I couldn't have really felt that if I hadn't experienced it, even if it was a secondary experience.
বুঝতে পারছি
You know, therefore, I put in my little effort for every film. It may seem inconsequential to some people, like some people tell me you take your work too seriously, but I'm happy doing that because it's just not about a film, it's an overall experience, you know.
আর এটাই তো একটা অভিনেতা জীবনে একটা বিরাট একটা একটা প্রাপ্তি, একটা যে আমি আমার জীবনে আমি অনেকগুলো মানুষের হয়ে বাঁচি।
I just think superficially it's okay, you know, you read a scene, you understand the scene, it's okay. But that, what does a Shabana Azmi bring to a scene? What does a Tabu bring to a scene? It is that little extra something.
একটা খুব সুন্দর শোভান আমাকে একটা এক্সাম্পল বলেছিল, এক ডক্টর কি মতে একটা সিন ছিল পঙ্কজের সঙ্গে। পঙ্কজ প্লেজ আ সায়েন্টিস্ট।
Yeah, I've seen the film.
সিন দেখেছিস তো? পঙ্কজ প্লেজ আ সায়েন্টিস্ট, হি কামস ব্যাক হোম এবং দে আর ম্যাডলি ইন লাভ উইথ ইচ আদার। কিন্তু ওই পঙ্কজ তখন কোনো রোজগার করছে না, কিছু করছে না, শোভান ইজ টায়ার্ড, আর পাচ্ছে না বাড়িটা চালাতে। তো সিনটা ছিল যে সবাই রাত্রিবেলা বসে আছে, টেবিলে একটা জাস্ট একটা কলা, একটা বানানো একটা প্লেটের উপর একটা কলা দিয়ে একটু চাপা দিয়ে রেখেছে। আমাকে হাতটা ধুয়ে খেতে বসে বলে কি আর কিছু নেই পয়সা, মানে এবার ওদের টাকা পয়সা নেই, এই নিয়ে ওদের একটা ঝগড়া। শাবানা বললো আমি ঝগড়া করছি, আমার লাইন্স আছে এবং আমি পিওর ভেনম আমি করে যাচ্ছি। আমি করছি ঝগড়াটা, হঠাৎ তার মধ্যে পঙ্কজ এসে দাঁড়ালো আমার কাছে, আমার পাল্লুটা তুলে চশমাটা খুলে মুছলো। আমার মনে হলো আমি কোনো দিন এই লোকটাকে ছেড়ে যেতে পারবো না, মানে আমি মরে গেলেও এর সঙ্গে থাকতে হবে। ইমিডিয়েটলি আমার টোনটা চেঞ্জ করে গেল, মানে যেই ওটা করলো, তারপর মানে পরের ডায়লগগুলো ও বললো যে আমি বুঝতেও পারলাম না পঙ্কজ কখন এসে আমাকে দিয়ে এটা করিয়ে নিল, অলমোস্ট লাইক এ ডিরেক্টর। মানে ভীষণ ঝগড়া করছি, যখন পঙ্কজ বুঝতে পারলো যে শাবানাকে কন্ট্রোল করা যাচ্ছে না, এটার জন্য আবার রিটেক হবে, ও জাস্ট ভাব অন শট শাবানার পাল্লুটা তুলে নিয়ে চশমাটা খুলে মুছছিল। বললো শাবানা বললো একটা অ্যাক্টার্স জেস্চার যে ক্যান বিকাম আ মোমেন্ট, আমি প্রথম রিয়েলাইজ করলাম।
Absolutely. Like my father always says, he can't relate to the films these days because he says relationships don't build, they meet once. You see them in a relationship in the second scene. In the third scene, they're making love. In the fourth scene, they're having a fight. In the fifth scene, it's, you know,
It's over.
Yeah, it's over. There's no romance.
হ্যাঁ, কিচ্ছু নেই আর।
Yeah, because there were
absolutely.
small moments, even just two people dying to hold hands and not. It happens even today. It happens. Maybe it's no longer just holding hands. Maybe it's maybe the simplicity of that is gone. I don't know what it is, but I just think we've got everything needs to be on remote control.
আমাকে প্রদীপ এসে কি বললো জানিস, কি কি বিউটিফুলি এক্সপ্লেন করলে পারেনি তা। আমি বললাম প্রদীপ আই এম সরি, আমি তোমার ছবিটা দেখে বুঝতে পারিনি। ও বললো যে ঋতু, ললিতা যখন পরিয়ে দিয়েছিল হারটা শেখরকে, ললিতা কিন্তু কিছু ভেবে পারায়নি। শেখর ওকে যখন ফিরে পরিয়ে দিয়ে বলে এটা তুমি কি করলে, তুমি জানো এটার মানে? শেখর মানেটা ওকে বুঝিয়ে দিল, কিন্তু শেখর মানেটার রেসপন্সিবিলিটিটা নিল না, রেসপন্সিবিলিটিটা ললিতা নিয়ে গেল সারা জীবন ধরে।
And you know how that moment happened?
হ্যাঁ,
We rehearsed a couple of times, and it had reached that,
ওকে,
you know, where we were actually
অলমোস্ট মানে
I think we were actually getting onto each other's nerves. I don't know how, but anyway, Saif and I hardly spoke to each other.
Achha.
So there was this, you know, undercurrents of something, and it reached that stage, and then suddenly we realized that Dada said, you have to turn back and you have to give it to him. You know, you have to put it onto him. I said, I'm not going to directly put it onto him. You know, because that seems the most convenient thing to do, and then he puts it onto me. So I said, I'll just say, take it now. I'm going. And he doesn't take it because he wants me to stay. He's saying, you know, I'm sorry. And I'm saying, no, just, when he doesn't take it in that frustration, what can I do? You know, I just put it onto him without meaning. And he puts it back onto me, and the same thing. But that happened, these moments just,
এটা যখন হলো,
yeah, you know, as an actor, I don't know, as a viewer or as an audience, maybe it doesn't hold too much. But every time I watch that scene,
এখন তোর
yeah, really, I feel like it was such a real moment. You know, I don't know whether Lolita had become me or I had become Lolita. There was no difference after a point in time.
আচ্ছা,
It's just, I wish I could go through that kind of preparation for.
কিরম ভাবে প্রিপেয়ার করেছিলি?
Just, I used to be there on every script session. Okay, so I knew what was the thought process of the writer. I used to add my 2 bits because at some point I started seeing Lolita for who she was. And initially, Dada started from a standpoint where he said, Lolita is the story is about Lolita. After a point in time, it became Shekhar's story for him.
আচ্ছা,
Parinita, if you actually ask him. And I used to get very upset.
কেন ললিতাকে নিয়ে নিচ্ছ?
Yeah, because you know, she's being done injustice too. And he used to say, no, it's, look at him, he's right where he is. So, you know, it used to go into discussions of strange, I'm sure a lot of those discussions didn't really bear fruit constructively in the script or anything, but we used to all sit together. He used to show us locations, pictures were always shown, references. I've watched a lot of films sitting in his office. He, the art director, his assistant art directors, his assistants, all of us would sit and watch films. And he'd just keep talking. He'd just keep talking. And I don't know, then we of course did this audio board, which is a very unique thing, which I've not done before or after. So just a whole, I think just spending a lot of time with the character, knowing this, that and the other, watching films from that period, doing a million costume trials.
আচ্ছা,
Until he felt that I actually inhabited that piece of cloth.
ওকে,
If he felt I didn't, he'd say
না পড়বে না, আচ্ছা।
no. So, you know, sometimes I'd say, Dada, it's looking so nice on me.
কেন দিচ্ছ
Yeah.
না?
He'd say, no,
তোমার মনে
you're
হচ্ছে।
not, it's not Lolita. And I'd say, you know, Dada, you don't like the color, you don't like something else. But actually, later I started understanding what he was doing.
Ocean Company